If you're trying to decide which DLC to purchase for Starship Troopers Terran Command, the first thing you should know is that the DLCs on offer are surprisingly different to each other. So in this video, we'll run through everything each DLC offers while comparing them to each other and the base game to help you decide which to buy, if any, or indeed both. If you're finished with what the base game has to offer and want to squish more bugs, then you currently have two DLC choices, Raising Hell and the more recently released Urban Onslaught. Here's a quick overview of each before delving into more detail. The Raising Hell DLC adds a brand new 7-mission campaign along with 3 new challenge missions, a handful of new friendly units, and a few new enemy bugs. The campaign takes place on a brand new volcanic planet called Gehenna, though interestingly you actually start out on a space station. There is plenty of tension between mercenaries and the mobile infantry, and there is of course an abundance of corporate profit before people throughout the campaign. The campaign itself requires a slightly different playstyle to the base game. In a nutshell, the Raising Hell DLC requires more micromanagement, whereas the base game is more about plonking your units in the right place, ideally a choke point, and as long as they're not blocking each other, you can watch the bugs melt away. The new units and new bugs in Raising Hell force you to keep thinking on your feet, and generally move your units around to ensure their survival. So if you were wishing the base game required more micro, it's likely you'll enjoy the mechanics introduced in Raising Hell. However, if you found the micro, or lack of in the base game, about right, you should be wary that not only does Raising Hell require more of it, the overall difficulty of this DLC is higher than the more casual feel of the base game. With that said, the combat overall has a similar feel to the base game, in that the environment and situations you find your troopers in are the same. Although it's a volcanic planet, you're generally in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by rocks or defending the occasional outpost. The 3 new challenge missions are welcome additions to this DLC, where generally speaking you can jump right into the action and face off against waves of enemies as you try to take out a bunch of bug hives while facing other hazards such as storms preventing you from reinforcing your troops, for example. They do add an element of replayability to the game, however the reality is these challenge missions mostly feel like another mission in the campaign rather than something entirely different. Although Urban Onslaught brings back the more casual feel of the base game campaign, that is pretty much where the similarities end. As the name suggests, this DLC is in an urban setting, which has a significant impact on the overall gameplay, and, quite frankly, it is awesome. Urban Onslaught comes with a 9-mission campaign and 2 new challenge missions. There are many new units for you to control and a handful of new bugs, but the major addition is that of 4 new defensive turrets. If the base game of Starship Troopers Terran Command appealed to the RTS player who loves to turtle, then Urban Onslaught with its defensive turrets takes it to the next level. Although you are always limited to a relatively low number of turrets, they are essential nonetheless, with 4 different types that have very different jobs, from a generic turret that overheats eventually to a mortar turret, and a turret that specializes in taking out big targets while being useless against hordes. Players who like to turtle will be in their element, as the entirety of the campaign takes place in the city of Mahanagar, which is surrounded by water and connected by bridges. The maps are varied from mission to mission, as are the objectives you are set, giving this well-narrated campaign some real depth. You'll take control of the local police forces, which are surprisingly tough, and before long the mobile infantry arrive too, as you fight a battle of retreat against a relentless horde of bugs being controlled by a big old brain bug. Though the campaign's mission objectives occasionally force you to push out of your turtle comfort zone, it's no less satisfying to see an automated defense take out a horde of bugs down a highway. The 2 new challenge missions are a welcome addition, adding some replayability to the game as you try to beat your previous high scores, but I don't want to overstate their value. The challenge missions are fun, but the reality is that most players will give them a few tries and leave it there. They won't keep most of us playing for months on end. With that said, overall, if you enjoyed the campaign of the base game, purchasing Urban Onslaught is a no-brainer. So, now we have an idea of what each DLC offers, let's take a close look at how they compare with each other and the base game to help you decide which one works best for you. It's undeniable that Raising Hell is straight up more challenging than both the base game and Urban Onslaught. There's something about the missions that just feel more brutal and will require you to go back to a save point and try again, whether it's the objectives or the new bugs you need to face themselves. So if you take anything away from this video, it should be that Raising Hell is for those who like a bit of an RTS challenge, whereas Urban Onslaught is for the more casual player, looking for more of the same from the base game, especially in terms of storytelling and the Starship Troopers vibe. Beyond that, though, the big difference is the urban setting of Urban Onslaught, as the entire campaign takes place in one city, albeit various different areas, seeing you take control of police and riot forces, as well as your more traditional mobile infantry units. There's something about fighting bugs in the streets of a city that is phenomenally cool and will appeal to any Starship Troopers fan. Although the streets make for perfect choke points, they also restrict your ability to focus fire from a high number of units, as they themselves are squished into a tight space, especially when you're fighting in the sewers underground. You're constantly creeping around corners, expecting a horde of bugs to be on the other side, fighting from rooftops, raising bridges to cut off the bugs' relentless advance, and flooding the sewers in a desperate attempt to save the city. The base game and Raising Hell, by comparison, mostly have you fighting out in the open, in the middle of nowhere. Both DLCs feature decent voice acting, presentation, and, overall, an enjoyable experience for those interested in Starship Troopers, especially fans of the base game. But from my own experience, and from conversations with basically anyone who has played the game, Urban Onslaught is the superior of the two DLCs, almost entirely due to the urban setting. Although the volcanic setting of Raising Hell does showcase some good-looking graphics that Urban Onslaught struggles to match at any point. Although by this point Urban Onslaught sounds like a no-brainer, the decision does get tricky when you look at the price. As the newer DLC offering, Urban Onslaught's base price is just that little more expensive than Raising Hell. Plus, as relatively new DLCs, the discounts when both are on sale are limited to around 20% each. Though of course these discounts are sure to increase as both DLCs get older. If you haven't purchased the base game yet, there is a Steam bundle where you can purchase the base game plus both DLCs. Currently this provides a 10% discount, but if I'm honest, you might be better off purchasing just the base game and Urban Onslaught when they're on sale, as you are really not missing that much with the Raising Hell DLC. The main weaknesses of these DLCs are the same as with the base game. There's no co-op or multiplayer modes at all. You don't get to play as the bugs, although there are mods where you can, and the campaign can feel overly scripted at times. The focus on single-player campaign limits the replayability and ultimately the longevity of both DLCs. However, they do offer some of the best RTS campaigns around at the moment. So if what you're looking for is a true Starship Troopers experience, then everything Terran Command and both the DLCs have to offer successfully deliver on that. Provided you bear in mind that the base game and both DLCs are pretty much one-and-done experiences until at least a co-op mode comes out, of which there has been no word as yet. If you found the video useful, please leave a like and a comment, and do let me know if you decide to make a purchase. Any support that helps with the algorithm gods would be much appreciated, and I hope to see you in the next one. See ya.